So the most interesting camera stories right now aren't just about specs. They're about the where and the how you use them. And in some cases, whether you can buy them at all. And that story is getting stranger by the week. So let's jump in. So here's the puzzle. DJI keeps saying that some new products aren't officially launching in the United States, yet they keep showing up on the shelves of major US retailers. And according to a story in Petapixel, DJI's relationship with the US market has become downright bizarre. The company has repeatedly framed certain releases as not officially launching stateside, most recently the DJI Mic 3, and earlier the Mavic 4 Pro. Yet those products still appeared at reputable American retailers like Adorama, Amazon, B&H, and more. For the Mic 3 specifically, it's listed on DJI's US website, but not available to buy. Meanwhile, the DJI branded Amazon storefront prominently advertises it. When asked how these products are getting into the US and not being sold via DJI's own channels, the company told Petapixel, "We cannot comment on behalf of retailers," which is the same response that it gave when the Mavic 4 Pro popped up in stores at launch, including DJI's own brick and mortar in New York City. Now, Petapixel notes that tariffs are likely pressuring pricing, right? Prices have definitely increased, and reports that the company has at times found itself blocked from imports, despite no law outright preventing it. And that has fueled speculation about alternative pathways into the US market. Last month, Petapixel reported that DJI appeared to be selling its Mini 4 Pro on Amazon under a different brand. We even talked about it here on the channel, the Skyrover X1. But code in the app that the Skyrover is using pointed directly to DJI's network. I mean, the product was basically a colorway of the Mini 4 Pro, but DJI declined to confirm or deny any relationship. An additional oddity, DJI's official Amazon storefront isn't actually shipping items itself. Orders there are fulfilled by a seller called Aerotech Hubs. Petapixel says DJI hasn't responded to questions about any connection, and Aerotech Hubs doesn't seem to exist outside of that storefront, where it sells almost entirely DJI products. Plus, they sell a hairdryer. So here's the bottom line. DJI's newest gear is often available in the US, just not through DJI's own store, and the company won't say why or how long that will last. And next up, let's talk about an example of how that retail disconnect is actually playing out in real time. So DJI's first 360 camera, the Osmo 360, has slipped into the US, but not via DJI's own site. Now, according to Drone DJ, the Osmo 360 is now listed on DJI's Amazon store page, and DJI is officially selling two configurations there. The Osmo 360 Standard Combo for $549 and the Creator Combo for $699. At the same time, their own online store still shows that the camera is out of stock, which echoes a recent pattern of US buyers finding stock through Amazon rather than DJI.com. By the way, all of those links are down below. Now, Drone DJ points out that the Osmo 360 lands at the same price point and similar specs as the Insta360's current options, positioning it as a head-to-head competitor to the X5. The site also reiterates that the leading theory is that US tariffs have complicated their direct sales and margins, which could explain both the slower rollout and why Amazon has been the first place stateside for buyers to get one. Also noting that there's no clear sense of how much inventory DJI has available through Amazon, and suggests ordering early in case it sells through quickly. So if you've been waiting for their 360 entry, the Osmo 360, then Amazon's path looks like the practical option right now, even though DJI's own stores seem to lag behind. Another update that we're seeing involves a new release from DJI. Their latest wireless mic is official, and the pitch is more capability in less space. Now, according to TheVerge.com, DJI's Mic 3 crams more features into a smaller package. Now, while their coverage focuses primarily on this new generation's compact form and expanded capabilities, full technical details and US retail channels will matter a lot given DJI's recent stateside launch inconsistencies across the product line. Though this seems to be a product that has been more readily available in the US at launch, as with the rest of the products that we've mentioned here, I will include links to the Amazon storefront down below. I'll also watch for in-depth reviews and any clarifications around US availability, especially as retailers continue to carry items DJI just isn't selling directly. Next, let's pivot over to GoPro because we've got some patents, some product hints, and some timing cues. So GoPro may be exploring a hybrid stabilization camera that looks like a pocket-style device, but with a bit of a modular twist. Now, according to Digital Camera World, a US patent was published in January and originally filed in March of 2024, which describes a device that combines mechanical stabilization with electronic stabilization. And the drawings resemble that of the Osmo Pocket 3 category, right? A small camera, gimbal mounted, but additionally, the GoPro proposed version or concept is modular. The camera can actually detach from the handheld module and can be mounted elsewhere, including on a drone. Where have we heard that before from GoPro? And the patent addresses a known trade-off. Running both mechanical and electronic stabilization together can degrade image quality. The patent outlines a technique to mitigate that by adjusting the control response of each system and dynamically allocating stabilization bandwidth between mechanical and electronic methods. And in theory, the camera could bias towards one or the other based on the operating limits like processing power or EIS or battery life or heat for mechanical systems. Also highlighted is the practical pros and cons. Mechanical stabilization can deliver superior results, but adds moving parts and bulk that can complicate, especially things like weather sealing. Modularity could let you run the camera bare, potentially more portable and closer to something waterproof like a GoPro, like what GoPro is known for. Then you clip it into the gimbal handle when needed. But this new patent does include drawings that show a camera mounted on a drone. Now, as always, patents are not product announcements. They're a window into what the R&D teams at these companies are thinking. Now, separately, and we reported on this in the last video that I did on this product, the GoPro CEO, Nicholas Woodman, has said now that 2 more cameras are coming in 2025, with one confirmed as the Max 2. Based on GoPro's release cadence, the site suggests that a Hero 14 would land as early as September and points to in development of the GP processor as a likely upgrade target. We're continuing to see persistent rumors about the potential for a 1-inch sensor. Well, the company is also hinting at a low-light camera coming as early as 2026 that would compete with cameras like the A7S. We could see anything here, and what I would definitely expect to see are things like software subscriptions, features that are going to cost money, color variants that don't cost a lot to additionally engineer into these products, and a continued use by GoPro of the same processors and sensors, pushing them as far as they possibly can. But if GoPro does pursue a modular gimbal attached camera with hybrid stabilization, it would potentially carve out a new lane alongside its POV lineup, which again is always good to hear as a consumer because it just means more competition for us and potentially better products down the road. But what would you want from a system like that? Modularity, low light performance, tighter integration with the mounts? Do you want to see GoPro come back into the drone space? Let me know down below. But while we're on the subject of compact cameras, we've got another leak from DJI, specifically a wearable DJI camera with a reversible magnet system and built-in storage that's just surfaced in leaked dealer materials. Now, according to our boy Jasper Ellens over at Drone XL, study material for retailers in China appears to outline the DJI Osmo Nano, which is a successor to the discontinued Action 2. The leak describes a main camera module that's magnetic on almost all 4 sides and can switch magnetic polarity to meet different needs for the filmmaker. Surrounding accessories in the meantime include a clip, a suction mount, a universal GoPro style mount, and a magnetic lanyard to turn the camera into a wearable. Drone XL also says that pricing was found in multiple public web shops and points to 2 different versions, a 64GB variant coming in at $369 and a 128GB model at $399. No notes, as always, on US availability, but the rumored release date looks to be September 10th, so we should know pretty soon. If accurate, the Nano would aim directly at the ultra-compact, always-on creators, with magnets and mounts doing a lot of heavy lifting. And I'll watch to see how much of that leak holds up as we get closer to September 10th. Speaking of leaks though, let's talk about one of the most anticipated DJI products out there, which is the Mini 5 Pro. We have retail box photos that have pretty much confirmed the Mini 5 Pro's controller bundle and a lot of the expected specs. Now, also according to Drone XL, these images show the DJI Mini 5 Pro packaged with the RC2 controller featuring the built-in screen. The labeling calls this the Fly More Combo Plus. And the front of the box includes the callout 52 minutes times 3, which is typical Fly More language and suggests that 3 batteries will be included and target up to 52 minutes each under ideal test conditions. If borne out, that would represent a notable endurance bump versus earlier Mini kits. Now, the RC2 bundling kind of changes operations for many pilots. No more phone tethering, faster pre-flight, better outdoor visibility with the integrated screen, particularly helpful in bright sun or when you need to do quick turn commercial work. Now, retail boxes often surface late in pre-launch cycles, just ahead of specs and pricing, sometimes just due to accidents, things being delivered early. And so this image aligns with a stream of other Mini 5 Pro leaks that have continued to point to a sub 249 gram airframe with a 1-inch sensor and an upgrade with LiDAR sensing. But if verified, the RC2 in the box approach indicates that DJI wants to streamline the user experience alongside endurance and imaging improvements. That 52 minutes is nuts. So official specs will tell us the full story, and we'll probably know pretty soon. But the other leak that we have actually talks to the pricing that we're gonna get on this product, because we've got a leaked accessory price list that points to a battery plus with familiar accessory pricing, but some intriguing add-ons. So that price list reads as follows. We've got a flight battery at $69, the Intelligent Flight Battery Plus at $99, a 2-way charging hub for $49, additional propellers for $19, ND filters in a set with an ND 8, 32, and 128 for $55, DJI Care Refresh 1-year plan at $80, and the 2-year plan at $129. Also, looks like we're gonna get propeller guards, though the propellers are included, for $69. Now, the Battery Plus appears to be launching alongside the normal battery. It notes that most accessory pricing mirrors the Mini 4 Pro era. We've also got new ducted propeller guards, but those guards do look like they're priced a little higher than normal. But this information effectively confirms the leaked and up-close images that we've been getting that show the C0 label with the proven 1-inch sensor under 249 grams, as well as the LiDAR sensors, the new gimbal with the full 330-degree range. And we can also likely expect the Mini 5 Pro to work perfectly well with DJI's new O4 platform, and it would also be compatible with the RC Pro 2. Expected launch date looks to be September 16th, although that is not confirmed. Also, we can probably expect that 249 gram weight is only going to work with the standard battery, and that the 52-minute Battery Plus is going to bring it up over that 249 gram threshold. But this is going to be a significant step for an ultralight drone. But let me know down in the comments, does the Battery Plus and the RC2 Pro bundle change your potential buying decision? I'm curious how you would configure it. Now, to close, I want to give you a couple of quick thoughts on the word Pro and the inclusion of Mini 5 being a Pro. Personally, I think that Pro should be more than just a badge. I think that it should describe a workflow. Now, according to reporting on the Mini 5, leaks point to this sub 249 gram platform, a 1-inch camera, and the RC2 as part of the Fly More combo. But in my view, Pro earns its name when the camera or the drone supports things like robust log recording options beyond the consumer-friendly profiles like D-Log-M. Additionally, I would like to see higher bit rates that hold up better in color grading, as well as controls like adjustable apertures that let you maintain exposure and motion blur without compromising. And I know that ND filters can do a lot on that front, but it's just not the same as being able to do it on the fly when you're up in the air. Additionally, smarter flight planning and route tools for pre-visualization would be huge and would definitely, I think, help earn that Pro moniker. Now, higher battery life, bigger sensors are meaningful, but the real test for many working shooters is whether the system offers the tools that slot into a paid production workflow. Now, if the rumored Mini 5 Pro spec direction is accurate, then the question that I have is how much of that Pro level toolset makes it to the final firmware and bundles, and are there any other additional specs that we haven't heard about that could potentially really push it into what I would consider the Pro zone? The Pro zone. Now, as official details arrive, I'll be looking as much into things like codec options, control granularity, planning tools, as well as sensor size and battery specs. But that's it for drone and action camera news this week. If you want to support what I'm doing here, please consider becoming a channel member. It's $1. And if you're looking to book a photo or video session, all the details are down below. Also down below are all of my gear and deal lists, including everything that we've talked about here today, and all the gear that I use to make my videos, as well as everything I use out in the field as a working portrait photographer. As always though, the easiest way to support the channel is just to hit like and subscribe. Those are free, and they go a long way to helping me grow here on YouTube. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.